Hey everybody, this is Grace. And in this video, I'm going to talk about when somebody says something and they continue to do it over, say, years. They're complaining about, say, other people are being rude or other people are ignorant. You know, these other people. And just, complaining like they're bigots, they're closed-minded, all of them. And they don't realize, that person doesn't realize, the person who's saying that they are doing the exact same thing. Okay, and I want to give examples of this. And really, I do see it as a narcissistic kind of attitude. I'm not saying somebody with diagnosing anybody, but that kind of attitude. Okay, first off, when somebody says all, or implies all people, all of this group or all of that, they're right then and there. They're the ones who are being ignorant, okay? Seriously. And anyway, I'll tell you why it's on my mind. Okay, I was at home watching videos of this one person, I'm not going to say who, and she's a little older, well, she's probably about 10 years older than I, and I've been watching her for years, like I said, but I've stopped watching her after she was living in a different state, and she's from a different state than that she was living in, and she was going to move to Texas. And when she decided that she was going to move to Texas, she immediately started putting down Texans. Okay, and she would say it as though they're all a group. Okay, they're all the same. That they basically were closed-minded and bigoted. Okay, seriously. And all of her attitude from that point on, this was 2 or 3 years ago, was that all Texans are, and she'd say something negative. Okay, now I'm Texan, born and raised. I've lived in many places in Texas. I used to be very nomadic, and not just Texas. I've lived in several states since I've been an adult. And I've lived in, I'm north of Dallas right now, and I've lived in several suburbs of Dallas, and I've lived in far north of Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and areas surrounding these, and so on and so forth. I've lived in several places in Texas, and like I said, other states too, several other states. And I can tell you, as a sociologist, and being born and raised here, anywhere I go, I don't see what other people say. And it's not like I'm just around one type of person. No. But I see it. I've seen that kind of person. But I've seen that kind of person everywhere I've lived. I've also seen that a lot of people who move to Texas, especially this area, this is what bothers me. They are that. They are that. Maybe they think that that's the reputation it has, and therefore if they come to move here, then they'll be amongst others like them. And seriously, like I say, if you come to Texas, this part of Texas, I might be the only true Texan you run across. Seriously, I seldom run across any Texans, and when I do, they are very open-minded. Seriously, they're like the stereotype just amazes them. And even the whole thing of Texans wearing blue jeans and like the men wear cowboy hats and cowboy boots and these western shirts and big huge rodeo belt buckles. Seriously, when I see one, I'm like, wow. And it's like maybe once a year. Okay, really, I don't even wear blue jeans. I don't. I haven't worn them since probably I was in my 20s, on a regular basis, and maybe not even then. But I have one pair, and my sister gave it to me about 15 years ago. It's just the stereotype, but also that whole thing of being very close-minded, and they're all bigots, and they all just are very negative toward people who aren't them. And this is what the woman says, okay? What is she doing? What is she doing when she says that? Think about that for a second. Okay, so where was I? Anyway, this woman, like I say, I think I said, I've watched her for years, but I don't watch her very often. I'm talking very seldom. After she started this whole thing about Texans are all bad, I stopped watching her. Not very often. Every once in a while I'll check to see if she's changed her attitude, learned something or whatever, catching up. And I did that this morning, started to. And she's still saying the same thing over and over about how she's just totally surprised. And here's the thing, she'll say something very negative, but her story is that, they didn't do this, and I'm totally surprised. Because she's expecting her assumption, assumptions of what Texans are. She's expecting that kind of behavior, and whenever it isn't that, she's surprised, but she doesn't change her attitude. Every time, I think every video of hers since then, like I said, a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, she would say that Texans bad, Texans bad. And she's not getting it. She's not getting that her assumptions, her stereotypes of Texans is wrong. She's not going to see that. After all these years, no. She's not going to see it. Okay. And another thing that she tends to say is, whatever is the situation, she'll say, and in Texas, of all places, I am very curious if she realizes how insulting that might be to people who are Texan. Now, I'm not a flag waver, I don't wave any flag and say, I'm Texan, and I said it because of the situation, this story. Or, from the United States, I don't wave a flag. I wasn't responsible for where I was born. According to my mom, I almost was. She said, you wanted to be born in the elevator at the hospital. But yeah, wherever you were born, it wasn't up to you. Where you live now, maybe so. But I wonder if she sees how offensive it can be to people when she does that. Says all Texans are this, and Texans are just bad. They're ignorant. They're so ignorant. They're so bigoted. They're so closed-minded, and I'm so shocked that they actually. And she says this so many times that she's so shocked. She's so surprised. Like I said, she's not going to get it. Now, I'm definitely not excusing her behavior, but I do think that many of us have some kind of flaw. We picked up somehow, some way, somewhere, some kind of arrogance, some kind of feeling of, being better than. But I'm not like that. I'm not prejudiced like that. I don't tend to stereotype people like that at all. But I think there's something that we pick up in our life that we just can't shake, and we might not even see that we're doing this. And when you get to be my age or older, middle-aged or older, you might not ever change it. Okay, and you might have heard it over the years, people say things like, that person's just set in their ways. That might be one of those things, set in her ways, this woman, of how she views Texans. Now, often whenever somebody has that kind of attitude, in my life I have seen this many times, that all of them are this way. When you hear all of them, you know that what's going to come out of their mouth is some kind of prejudice, and they're stereotyping. Well, my experience is that they're jealous. Somehow, some way, they feel inferior, so they're trying to show that they're superior. A superior, yeah, I'll get it right. A superiority complex masks a inferiority complex. Tend to, yeah. But anyway, yeah, we might have what some people call narcissistic fleas. Picked up some. That's bad behaviors you pick up from somebody who's narcissistic. I don't know if I would call it narcissistic fleas. Yeah, I mean, we might, if you've been around enough of them, you might pick that, pick up bad behaviors, or you just picked up bad behaviors in your life, bad thoughts, something that's just not right. You know, it's not, it totally lacks, really. And, yeah. I'm serious. I said something about this. Let me show you. I couldn't catch it fast enough, but in the distance there was a guy walking wearing cowboy hat, cowboy boots, and jeans. I don't know about the rest. It looked like a kind of a western shirt, but I couldn't catch him fast enough before, and that probably wouldn't have been a good thing to do. Yeah, shame on me. You know, it's some stranger. Although you can do that, you know, whatever's in your natural environment, from what I understand, that's not everywhere. It is not everywhere. But here, yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. But anyway, I'm curious, you know, if you have run across people like that, and it really makes you wonder, you know, why, I keep saying, you know, why, that's my bad habit, interrupting myself. Why do they do this? What's going on in their heads that they feel that need to say, all of them, you know, all the Texans, or all wherever you live, and however you say it there, all the people from where you live, that state, that town, that whatever, that they're all bad. If somebody says that, how do you feel? Do you tell them? I do. I tend to tell them, really now? Now, like I said, I'm Texan. I live in Texas. I didn't mention still live in Texas. And I've been at jobs and stuff here, okay, in Dallas or north of Dallas, and people from other states, like one woman, she said she was from Louisiana, and she made a comment about my accent, and I'm thinking, I'm in Texas, I am Texan, and what is she doing? Seriously, hey, my accent used to be much thicker, much. But anyway, it's just the people and their ignorance, their need to feel superior to, their jealousy, their whatever it is very annoying to hear, to be around this type. What do you think? Do you know people who do this? And then what they're doing is exactly what they saying the other people are doing. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. If you want to leave a comment, leave it below. And if you want to subscribe and you haven't already, you can click one of the circles. To click the circle that pops up. Or if you want to watch another video on this channel, you can click one of the rectangles that pop up. Oh my goodness, what kind of day it is. Alright, like, subscribe, comment, and share on your own social media if you would. I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.